Hey everybody, this is old Watachi, and this is going to be a little bit different video on my Fakawi four-wheeler channel. I'm going to show you guys some of the just a handful of pictures from back when I used to live in Arizona to kind of give you guys an idea of the difference between four-wheeling in Arizona and four-wheeling in northeastern Ohio, because there's a major difference. This photo here, though, folks, I want you to understand why I don't like digital. Because digital can be faked. If you blow this picture up a little bit, you start to see me sitting in the passenger seat. And if you look real close, the person driving the car is the blonde that I think was in Terminator 4 or 5. I don't even know. There's been so many Terminators. But this was the good-looking blonde that starts out naked, walks up and takes away the clothes of the woman in the sports car. Well, this is the sports car, this is the woman, and this is me. I'll blow it up a little bit more. I'll back it off a little bit. You can see that is clearly me, and that I've got my mouth open. I got my arm around the woman in this photo. This is why I do not like digital, folks. Photos can be faked. Now, none of these other photos that I am going to show you are faked in any way, shape, or form. And I also want you to know that in between the ages of about 20 and 40, I did not allow too many people to take pictures of me because I didn't want anybody to be able to prove where I was at any given time. Let me see. This was what I looked like back when I lived in Arizona. Me and my wife was at a park. My wife is sitting next to me. My kids were with us. We were at some kind of a Six Flags or maybe Disneyland or Disney World, somewhere. We were at one of them parks, and my kids were taking a picture of me. One of my kids, and they knew I did not want my picture taken. And this was what most of the pictures that involved me for almost 30 years looked like. So there's not a whole lot of pictures that anybody kept of me from around this age. First thing I'm going to show you is a picture of me in my Bronco. This Bronco, folks, it wasn't the only Bronco that was recorded from a helicopter running from sheriff's, local police, and in my case, skinheads. I wasn't or O.J. Simpson wasn't the only one in a white Bronco that this happened to. Well, O.J. didn't have skinheads chasing him. But anyway, folks, this was my Bronco when I first got it. Or not when I first got it, but when I started taking it out off-roading. You can see the chrome bumpers on the front and shit. Had a chrome bumper on the back, stock wheel, rims and tires. But it did pretty good. This was actually a picture. You drive up on this ramp and it tells you how much your truck has, how much articulation that your truck has. Now, at this point, it didn't have a whole lot. It still had the sway bars and stuff on it. But this was one of the first places I went when I got with my buddies to go four-wheeling. Now, let me see. Oh, yeah, this should be next. I was driving down the road and somebody stopped short on me. And I hit them in the ass end and it tore up my bumper. I had to basically pick my bumper up off the road and put it in the back. Busted a turn signal and shit. So I decided, hell with it. I'm not putting that junk crap back on the front. I started talking to a friend of mine, and he was a welder and stuff. And we decided it would be best if I put solid, these were 1/4 inch. The front bumper was 1/4 inch, or it was 1/4 inch thick and 4 inches in diameter. Solid steel front bumper on my Jeep. We welded this thing into place. There wasn't nothing going to bend it. This shows you in the rear. We didn't go with a full 4 inch on the rear bumpers. That was just for the front. But we went with 2 inch and doubled them up. Had it all welded in with the hitch and everything on it. And by this time, I had bought the 33 12.5 by 15 inch tires and rims and put on it. So I had to do some cutting because I don't like lifts, folks. Lifts gives you a higher center of gravity and will throw you off the side of a hill. So I deal with stock suspensions or stock height suspensions, and I'll cut the wheel wells out, get rid of them. It keeps you low center of gravity. It makes you wider. It keeps you safer on the side of the mountain. I'm going to speed up a little bit here. This is a picture. My son, we were up on some mountain somewhere coming down one side of it. Down like it looked like an animal trail as we were squeezing through. But you can see a little bit, there's some trees and bushes and shit here. You have to go up towards the north or get up in the mountains to see this kind of terrain. This is another picture. A couple of the guys that went up there with us. Here's a picture, folks. Now, this is after I started doing some modifications on my Bronco. Had the steel tube bumpers on it. Let's see if we can blow this up a little bit. Had the steel tubed bumpers on it. Bigger tires, put the fender flares. These were bushwhacker fender flares. And I started going a lot further. The truck behind me is actually my brother-in-law, Bill Chamberlain. It was his pickup. He was following me up through there on one of these trails. As you can see, the saguaro cactus, and folks, we're back out in the deserts of Arizona, around the Mesa area. This one here is one of the trails I went on. It was a Copper State annual run. There was many vehicles that did this run. Anywhere from Jeeps to Toyotas to Broncos to Blazers to everything. Because out there, you didn't have the trees. You could get all these big full-size trucks through the desert. That's why I run full-size out there. It's a whole different ball game. Now this photo, folks, is my Bronco sitting underneath my carport. And as you can see, there's some damage done to it. At this point, I'd done ripped the fender flares off of it. But you can see I have a worn, W-A-R-N, winch at this point mounted on my front bumpers. And at this point, I had my front axle was welded with manual locking hubs, and my rear axle I had a locker in. So I could drive this thing anywhere I wanted to go. And often did. Let's go to this picture here. You've seen my brother-in-law's truck with my Bronco in another picture. But if you look directly above my Bronco, you can see the volcano, one of the volcanoes that's in the area that we lived in. And you can see this was rock crawling area, folks. This ain't no playing around. You are rock crawling when you're out in the desert and doing this kind of four-wheeling. You have no choice. Let's see. This hill here, photos really don't do justice for hills. But this hill here was called the Widowmaker. Blow it up a little bit. And on these hills, you can see where the trails that are going up, you can see how they've been cut through the sand and the rock. That's from all the people going up through there in these trucks and shit. Full blast, slinging dirt and shit, and they cut grooves up this mountain. Well, this made this mountain not as bad by them doing that. But if you can see, if you would have had to drive up over above those crevices that they've dug up through there, it would have been a lot dangerous hill. This is what it looked like recently compared to when I was up there. Let's see. These photos are just a couple from some runs that I went with some guys. These were all off-roading buddies. But this was a trail we were doing. And you'd have people get out in front of you and guide you through, keep you from getting screwed up, getting broken down or something. They'll kind of show you what rock to roll over and whatnot. And we always had people out doing this for, especially for people who didn't know what they were doing, just to help. This is one guy that refused to listen to us, and he was going up through there trying to show off how bad his Ford was, and he busted his damn steering linkage completely loose from the steering box when he did this. And he spent a lot of time out there trying to fix the situation. This one here, folks, I'm hoping you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see it there. These are hieroglyphics, Indian hieroglyphics that were left on the side of a mountain. Now, there was many places you could find hieroglyphics out there. Many different tribes, many different areas, and you can see the hieroglyphics here. You can see it, there's some of it here, some of it up here. But it would be even up high up on the mountain. Matter of fact, this was actually, the road was on down. This was up on the side of a mountain. What this stuff meant, I have no idea. Now, these next photos, folks, they're just going to be of pictures I've taken on top of mountains and the area out in that I raised my kids in, out in the Arizona desert, man. Let me bring this down some. These pictures they're fading out and stuff anymore. Let's see. Hell, you can't really see that, can you guys? No, let's try another one here. This one's a lot brighter. That's what the desert in Mesa, Arizona looks like. You can see all the trails going up and over the mountains in many different directions. Now, most of these trails are mining trails that went up to mines. People follow them and animal trails out there in order to go off-roading, folks. That's just what we all did. Now, this is kind of, with the trees being involved, we must be getting up in a little bit of elevation. You're getting more bushes and stuff. I can't really remember where it is, but you can also see the mountain range in the background back here. There was actually mountains, folks, almost in every direction. When you are in Mesa, Arizona, you can almost drive off into any direction and you will find mountain ranges. Any direction. This is another shot from the top of another mountain. And as you can clearly see, there's another range back here of mountains and stuff and before the sky. This is how far you can see when you get up just 3,000 or 4,000 feet up in the mountains in Arizona. On a ball earth, you wouldn't be able to do that, folks. Now, these are getting a lot clearer. This is a picture of where the Indians used to live. As you can see right here, there was a group of Indians that lived up on the side of this mountain. Now, how many? I don't know. But we have been up in and through all of that. I took this picture to show this is how we found it. This is how we found this mountain. And this stuff, you can find it, Indian stuff, all over the out west. This in here is just another range, a little small valley that I could imagine a lot of probably outlaws, because of the river that runs through there. It's sunken down. I could imagine a lot of outlaws hid down in this area right here. Beautiful sight, man. I'll never forget it. This one here is a picture of the Superstition Mountains. Now, I've spent a lot of time around. You can actually see Weaver's Needle over here. I have been all around, all through this mountain, all the mountain ranges out this side of it, that side, the back side, all sides of this mountain range. You got Gold Canyon on this far side over here, Gold Canyon and stuff. You got out this way, you got the Weaver's Needle. You got all this back in here is all, will lead you out to Four Peaks mountain range and everything. It's all open, and Saguaro Lake is back in there. You go off to the left here. I've been all over this for years, out four-wheeling. That's the kind of four-wheeling I used to do. Now, this one here is a picture of what they call Four Peaks. You can see this mountain from my house. Four Peaks, the highest part of it, which I believe is this peak over here, is just under 8,000 feet. Now, we drove up to the valleys. We could get up in to right about where these valleys are right here. And that was around 62 to 6,400 feet. We could see over 100 miles from up on top of that peak. It would take you a half a day to drive up there and a half a day to drive back, because there wasn't nothing but old mining roads that were usually washed out and animal trails is all you have going up there. Now, once you get up to the valleys here, you have to walk up if you want to go up to the very peaks. And I never did that, never cared to, never had the lungs for it. But if I could drive up, I'd drive up as far as I could. So guys, let me flip this around. Guys, this is just a little bit of proof of where I've lived, where I've been, the four-wheeling. I get so sick and tired of people calling me a liar that I just want to prove it to you. I got thousands of more photos if you want to see them. I got a lot of, I do a lot of photography of the night, the sunsets and sunrises. I got a lot of those. There is one more thing I want to show you guys. Now, I made this on my own computer, and it was, this was when I was in school, and this was a logo that I used while I was in school, and I designed it and everything. Vibe Designs. Graphic design web pages is what I was doing. Now, this was on the back of this, and this was a card that I printed and made for my wife. Actually, I made it for my kids to give to their mother on Mother's Day. This was the on the front, Happy Mother's Day. Don't think of this as a Mother's Day card, but as a Mother's Day present. And then, I'm not going to read this whole thing to you folks, but let me see. There's a coupon for one free breakfast, redeemable only at the Big Apple, only on this date. I wasn't going to give her a chance, and I gave it to her late, so it was too late. But let's see. Oh, this other part of it. You guys can read this. Even my sister's in there. You guys can read. You can pause it and read it if you want to. But you can see I had it. It's sealed. I mean, this ain't just paper. I printed it into a Mother's Day card. And that was my logo that I used when I was going through college. I did make this while I was in college. But I just wanted to show you guys that shit. I'm not just a one-horse show or anything like that. I've done all kinds of shit. And I hope you guys all live this same kind of a life, because if you guys ain't tested yourself, if you guys ain't done things that other people that you talk to haven't done, then you're just normal. Nobody's ever called me normal. But a lot of people have called me a liar, and I can't stand that. So if anybody can prove me to be a liar, please do it. Don't do it on Google. Don't do it on YouTube, and not even give me a chance to defend myself, and do it in a way you're taking old videos and splicing them together. Don't do that shit. You didn't win. But that's all Google will show you. Oh, what Dachi running for? He's been debunked. He's been debunked in many countries. Just look it up. Ain't none of them debunked me on any of it. They just claim that. And some people claim I'm annoying as fuck. Love you guys. Have a good one.